Let's go ahead and mount our front fender now. These fenders are really nice. They're really nice, thick aluminum, and they're lightweight. So grab that fender and the brackets, these brackets and all that, and let's get started. Okay, let's go ahead and mount these struts to the fender real quick. This is the screw, and then the rubber washer here. So that goes on the outside. And then the strut goes on the inside. And the way they mount is these straps go against the fender. Then the strut goes on top of the strap. And then the nylock nut and the washer go there. So go ahead and mount it that way. Like I say, you get a little bit angle. Yeah, the strut goes on top of the straps. You don't need to silicone these in because we probably won't be taking these in and out like we will the rear. So go ahead and mount that up. Now I'm going to leave everything a little bit loose for now. Just mount them up, leave them a little bit loose, and then we'll mount them to the motorcycle. If you'll notice, the one side of the fender has just a little bit of a flat on it. That'll go to the back of the motorcycle. And then the real nice, pretty rounded part will go to the front. This is the nice rounded part here, so that'll be the front. Boy, my fender just lined up perfectly the first time, so hopefully yours does. I drill these myself, so I go to great pains to drill the holes and everything myself to make sure they line up. So anyway, if you'll notice the rounded edges to the front, that kind of squared off into the back. Okay, now if you'll notice, the struts have two sets of holes. You can see it right there. They have a hole here and then a hole down here. Now I've used a bigger diameter vintage tire on this bike, so I use the lower holes, which puts the fender up a little taller. I think on the stock size tires you can probably use these holes here. The main thing when you mount this fender is you want to make sure that they don't the bolts inside here don't rub on the tire. So you want it to fit as low as possible. So anyway, I've used the upper ones on this vintage tire. Now if you'll notice here, I've mounted the bushing here. The bushings go in between the fork and the strut. And then the Allen screws and the washers are on the inside. Use a little Loctite when you put these in too, because this fender's going up and down, pounding up and down all the time. You don't want these to loosen up. And then what I did is I put all three screws in, and then I do this one last. This one back here. It's a little harder to get to, so if you put the other three in first, then that one goes in a little easier. So go ahead and, what I did is I snugged these up first, and then I tighten these up here. You can put a wrench underneath there to hold the nut. That way there's a little slop in these holes here, so if the fender's a little off center on the tire, you can adjust it a little bit as you tighten these up. But mine just lined up perfectly. So anyway, that's it. Just go ahead and, like I say, double check everything. Make sure these are snug. A little Loctite and the bushing in there. And then make sure you snug these up good. And then make sure the fender is centered on the tire real well. Mine just came out perfect, like I say. It just came out really nice. So there you have it. That's a good looking fender.